Greetings YouTube. The first part of this bargain video shall be this utility sink, which I have here. I purchased this sink along with the accompanying hoses at a yard sale for 20 bucks. I actually want to hook up a utility sink here in my basement. There is the drain for the old washer that used to be here. Unfortunately, they capped off all of the pipes for the water supply when they did the renovation after someone stole the copper from my building. But the washer and dryer weren't here at that point, and we told them we weren't going to use them down here, so I'm not real surprised at that fact. So I'm going to have a plumber come in here and hook this up because my wife is nervous about me doing it. So tap into that for the drain, tap into those for the hot and cold water, and I may be able to reuse some of those fixtures because there actually are a couple of actual switches and such on here that I may be able to have the plumber reuse and save a little on that. Because it wouldn't be a bad thing to have a shut-off valve at the sink itself feeding the supply hoses. Oh, again, that hose right there hanging up is not part of the sink. It's part of this dehumidifier, which we use in the humid summer months, because if we don't, the smoke alarm down here goes off. Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. But if it gets too humid, the smoke alarm goes off all the bloody time. So like August or so, we have to turn this dehumidifier on. And we use the hose to drain it over to the sump pump. So we don't have to empty a container. So yeah, that's the first part of this bargain video. Alright, in this section we have this kettle, or pot, I'm not sure what you want to call it. We bought this at an estate sale for 12 bucks because the people selling it, I think they thought it was just sheet metal. But I brought it home and the weight was off when I actually get a hand, because I actually hadn't picked it up by itself because I had a bunch of stuff in it. And it didn't seem right, so I put a magnet in the side. And it's not sheet metal. Well, it's sheet metal, but it's not steel sheet metal. It's copper. So I paid $12 for a very large copper vessel, which we are going to turn into a footstool. My wife found that it's the perfect height for her when she sits on the porch. So we're going to put a top on it, and we're going to upholster the top, and we can use the inside for storage. But yeah, awesome find, man. 12 bucks for a copper vessel this size. That's amazing. And the second thing in this video is going to be this pot, which, yeah, here we go. Esposito, which is a artist from Montana. He is an actual professor at the Montana University of Montana, and he teaches ceramics. And I picked this up at a thrift shop for 10 bucks, or $9.99, which may break the heart of that particular professor, that his stuff ended up at a thrift shop. But I'm filming this section at the moment for two reasons. One, this kettle, I've forgotten it for the last two videos. It's been sitting on my porch, so I just didn't think of it. And that vase will be delivered to the person that I'm giving it to, because I purchased it as a gift for someone before this video ever goes live. In fact, I have the key to this person's house, and I'm going to be sneaking that in while they're at work today and leaving it on their counter, so they come home and can find this on their counter. I thought that would be humorous. So there you go. This section is going to have these two large containers, one of Oz, which my friend will be using for plants, and then this fabulous copper kettle, which my wife and I are going to turn into a footstool. Greetings YouTube, time for a bargain video. We have Game Wars, the undercover pursuit of wildlife poachers. Thucydides, the reinvention of history. Now I believe this was a book recommended by Gene's Bookish Thoughts, but I'm not positive. But I picked it up for 50 cents today, so I'm like, looks good, so I'll give it a read. Then we have Dark Tide, the Great Boston Molasses Flood of 1919. That's so bizarre, I gotta read it. Carl Sagan's The Varieties of Scientific Experience, A Personal View of the Search for God, And I picked up both of the Game Wars and this also for 50 cents a piece. Actually, that one as well. So all four of those books were like $2. The first New England catalog, which is kind of just this selection of articles and technology and things, all pertaining to New England itself. And it is, let's see, what year is this thing? I forgot to check. It's from the Pequot Press. It's the first one. I don't know what year it's from. Oh, 73. 73, so that's a while ago. Then we have a book of antique jewelry with prices, which I picked up for a friend of mine who likes antique jewelry. We have The Monster at the end of this book, which is quite possibly my favorite childhood book of ever, even though I didn't discover it till I was like 12. And I bought this copy specifically to give to my therapist for his waiting room. Then we have University 2 Squared, The Angry Years by Frank Cho. I've been a fan of Frank Cho's art, and I picked this up for $1. I'm probably going to read it and then donate it again or give it to somebody I know. Then we have a Nightcrawler comic, issue number 1. I've never read a Nightcrawler book that was just him, so I thought I'd give that a try. And then we have a Deathlock versus Sleepwalker, which looked marvelously silly, so I thought I'd give that a read. I'm a fan of Deathlock. Then we have the Amazing Spider-Man Giant Sticker Activity Book. Now, I bought this. Well, the front of the book has got all kinds of things you can do with the stickers and games and things. But that's not why I bought it. I bought it for the stickers. Boom, thump, crash. All kinds of Spider-Man logos for action positions. Also, where are they? Here we go. Then we're getting some larger pieces. I like the Spider-Man heads. These Spider-Man bars are kind of cool. I really don't need people's names a whole lot. And then there was some in here. These heads right there are quite... I like this. I like the spider tracking thing. It was supposed to work with the spider sense. And there was another... these I plan on using to decorate my computer with. My new Chromebook. I'm going to put some of those on there. So yeah, it's a nice little selection. I picked this up for like $1 or something like that. It's all kinds of stickers in there. I'll use what I want to, then I'll give it to some kid. And then we have the authorized biography of James Cagney, and he worked with an author, so this is something his words. So admittedly, it's probably going to be, a slanted view of the universe, but still, I was always a James Cagney fan when I was a kid. More media. Shaman in a 9-to-5 World, which is about finding a way to keep in touch with your divine interest in paganism, living in an urban environment. And I figure that might be interesting, because I do feel I sometimes have a difficult time doing that. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories. This is a book that my wife wanted. Conversations with Stephen King, Feast of Fear. And even though I don't read fiction any longer, I still find Stephen King a fascinating individual. So I figured that would be a good read, and I think I paid $1 for it. And we have X-Men 1.5. This is an enhanced DVD of the original movie. I own the original. I will get rid of it now and keep this one. It's a 2-disc set. And I want to listen to the commentary track, because I do love commentary tracks. Then we have the animated Hobbit. Yes, I know, it isn't a particularly great film, but I still wanted to have it in my collection. Hudson Hawk. And I watched this last night with commentary track, and I find this film delightful. I gotta do a full review on this. I've always been annoyed that so many people did not get this movie. Then we have The Lost Empire, which is a story dealing with the Monkey King, and another example of white guy comes and helps solves a problem in an Asian environment. Fame, a movie I haven't seen in years, and it's got a commentary track on it. Android Apocalypse. This looks really bad. We have Ed Norton in The Illusionist. I've heard good things about this, and I kind of like Ed Norton. I think he's really good at immersing himself into a role. Captain America, The First Avengers. This is a bare bones copy of this film. I'm hoping I can find a copy at some point in the future with commentary track. I'll get rid of this one and swap it out. But I do enjoy this movie. I really like this character. I liked Winter Soldier. I need to get that one. I'm really not looking to... I'm not going to go see Civil War in the theaters just because I don't need another film dealing with four-colored superheroes in a soap opera, and that's what I'm seeing that as. Then we have The Wild, a Disney film. I've never seen that one. The High and the Mighty, which is the special collector's edition. This is a John Wayne movie. It's got a widescreen. It's got a commentary track. I may watch it. I may not. I bought it for my father, particularly. Then we have Heathers, a film I have not seen in a really long time, and again, bought it for the commentary track. Then we have season 1 of Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen, and I got that from my father. I don't really have any interest in that. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger in End of Days, which is a film I have not seen in ages. It was a little problematic, but I still want to listen to the commentary track. Then we have this little flashlight, which is designed to be put onto a tool or just be magnetic and be able to use. And I paid $1 for this at an electronic surplus store, and just really cool. I wish I'd gone to that surplus store before I bought my tool bench, man, because they had some tool benches over there that are awesome. Unfortunately, they're really heavy. Nice prices, but huge, bulky things, like from industrial buildings and schools and stuff, but really, really heavy. And we have this covered bowl, which is going to be a wedding gift for one of my wife's coworkers, because I always buy bowls as wedding gifts, and I thought it was quite attractive. Then we have this bell. It's not perfect. It is missing a tine, but it's got a really nice tone. And I paid $4 for a bell this large. Even it was with a broken tine, I still think it's worth it. My wife likes the bell. That's all that matters. Keeps my wife happy. And then we have this little pocket level, which I thought was quite cute. I'm going to put that in my basement so I have a level on hand when I need one down there in the shop. I'm not bringing all my tools into the basement. It is slightly less secure in the basement than it is up here. So I'm going to have some tools down there and some tools up here. But I have been purchasing tools for a long time with the hope that I would someday have a shop. And then the last thing in this segment is going to be this ball hitch, which I purchased just for a weapon build. And I picked this particular one because it had a nice long shaft, nice big nut included. I'm probably not going to be able to use this. And I'm going to tell you about how I'm going to use that in the next section. Here we have a Rubbermaid box. I think it's designed originally for file folders, but since I've been moving things into the basement, there are things I want to bring downstairs that I want to store that they're both too bulky for the drawers in the the workbench. So I can put them in here. I can lock them in. They'll stay clean because it's going to be a dusty environment. I'm going to be using wood and metal around that, so I don't want to get chips and stuff in there. And this will let me organize it. And it was $3. So they can't lose there, and it's got a handle so I can take it off the bottom shelf. I don't know, at the bottom shelf easily. I'm going to probably keep my sander in there, my saber saw, things like that. So some smaller things that I can just fit in there and tuck them out of the way that I will be using down there. Then we have a Billabong hooded sweatshirt. My wife wanted that one. It's a little on the big side. I washed it, so hopefully it shrank a little bit. But she happens to have a real affection for big, bulky sweatshirts. I've never quite grasped that, but she likes them. What do I care? Oh yeah, one of the things I am also wearing is this. Some of those of you who have seen my regular videos may have already seen it. It's just the new big, it's a sweatshirt that I can put over other things because it's slightly on the large side, but I don't care if it's slightly on the large side. I don't like things quite as loose as my wife does, but I do appreciate having a little space on it. Don't like tight clothing, never had. Then we have a pair of Levi's cargo pants, but they have this weird pocket right here. It's like, that's how deep it is. That's it. I don't know. Is it supposed to be that watch pocket or something? I'm not sure what it's supposed to be for. Change? It's at a weird angle. I think change would fall out. So I don't know what it's for. I'll probably never use it. I'll probably button it back up again when I'm done with this video or after I wash it and never use it. But needed a new pair of pants because one of the pair of pants I wear on the weekends finally got a little too old. So those are being donated, and these are my new ones. I think I paid $5 for those. Here we have a Dasco 111-8 meat cleaver. I did a little bit of research online. There you go, Dasco. Did a little bit of research online, and these are not incredibly uncommon. I paid $20 for this, but none of the ones I saw online were in such good shape. This looks like it was never used. That looks like the factory original bevel. And I'm thinking I'm actually going to sharpen it. I'll probably leave the patina on the rest of it, but I want to actually be able to use it if I ever need a cleaver this big for something. But I kind of like having tools that actually have an edge on them. And I'll probably just hang it up on the wall for looks or an impromptu weapon. But man, this thing is wonderful. It's big, it's heavy. It is a really awesome cleaver. And this handle is really sexy. I really like that curve they've got in there. Really nice. And the last thing we got are 2 bats. And this T-ball bat is what I'm going to use that trailer hitch on. I'm going to drill a hole right through here, and I'm going to put that trailer ball hitch on there, and we are going to have ourselves a Warhammer. I can't wait. And this one here, it's larger. This is full-size baseball bat. I'm going to use with some chain I bought not long ago and make a chain-wrapped baseball bat from the Fallout 4 computer game. So I'm going to make my own version of that. I'm going to need to get some bolts so I can like put one bolt, wrap it, put another bolt, wrap it, put another. I'll probably have them in different angles so that the chain will stay in place. Because if you just wrap it, it's going to slide on you. So you're going to want some connection points besides the top and the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have 4. I'm going to lay it out. I haven't done that yet. I just got it today. I haven't had a chance to do that. The chain's already in the basement. Waiting for the project. But yeah, so these are both going to be put to use this week probably. By the time you see this video, I will probably already have both these things built because I'm still on medical leave. I've got time on my hands. And these are both going to be fast projects. I mean, this is literally, I drill one hole and I'm done. So that's going to be a fast project. So there you go, folks. This has been the latest bargain video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope all of you have wonderful meat cleavers.